Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Dr.Naureen Sohail and you're listening to Illuminate. As promised earlier, today we are going to talk about conflict management. Conflict management is an art. It is a higher functioning skill. No one is born with this skill. We grow into it. No one is perfect in this art. You paint your own picture. The more you engage in managing and resolving the conflict, the more proficient you become in this art, and the more beautiful your picture becomes with more vivid colors. If you research conflict resolution, you will see many theories floating from the 5 R's to 7 A's, etc., etc. I feel that we can't capture all the nuances in a conflict in one theory. In my view, more effort should be put into communication and not letting the differences of opinion become a conflict. Let's look at the Holy Prophet ﷺ's life, who dealt with all kinds of conflict. His seerah tells us that he was an honest man and did not shy away from what he had to say, especially if it was in the way of Allah Ta'ala. We also know that this created huge havoc in the then Meccan society. People were angry, ready to kill him and other Muslims. Nevertheless, history does not have a single incident where he became angry and used force to communicate his message. In fact, he remained calm, humble, kind, and polite in the wake of conflict. He took measures to safeguard himself from the dangerous actions of his opponents, but more so, he prayed for them for divine guidance. Consistently, he said that they act like this because they don't know. Even in the biggest conflict of his time that occurred in Hudaybiyah, he took a back step and signed a peace treaty, the Sulh Hudaybiyah. According to the popular communication style theory, you may say that he had an assertive communication style when he spoke to deliver the message of Islam, and at the same time he took a back step when it came to his own personal needs and rights. Even his enemies were taken aback by his forgiveness and kindness. You may ask, what about advocating for myself? What about standing for my rights? What about not being a doormat? Well, these are all within your rights, but there are certain steps that, when taken, help the conflict achieve a positive outcome. Let me explain. For the sake of this podcast, we will name the person or persons you're having the conflict with as quote unquote your partner. They can be your friend, neighbor, sibling, or spouse, or anyone else. So, following in the Holy Prophet ﷺ's footsteps, the first is prayer. Pray for yourself to be able to communicate your thoughts in a way that is palatable for others. Secondly, pray for your partner that they may understand your message, and then for everyone involved that they may all be guided towards a path that leads to Allah Ta'ala's pleasure. Then there is respect in capital letters. Respect is like the conditioner to the tangles in your hair. Or you may also use the analogy of oil in a creaking door. Respect eases the conflict. It changes the conflict to differences in opinion. It makes your partner more accepting and less defensive. How do you show respect? That takes us to our next element of conflict resolution, which is your communication style. Communication style plays a huge role in resolving issues, especially your tone and your choice of words. Use a soft, polite, and understanding tone instead of a sarcastic or critical tone. Softer, kinder words instead of harsh or cutting-edge words. Write down your conversation if you need to. Practice saying them before you actually say them. Next, think about it from their perspective. How would it impact them? Why are they in favor of their opinion? Acknowledge their opinion, not dismissing it right away. No matter how ridiculous it sounds, acknowledgement plays a big role. As soon as you acknowledge their opinion, they feel they have been heard. Their defense mode goes down and their listening and understanding mode comes up. Then communicate your opinion to them. This is where you are advocating for yourself. Be assertive and honest with politeness. Remember, honesty is not to tell someone their weaknesses with a sharp knife. Honesty is to help them understand their shortcomings and to help them overcome them. Honesty is also understanding your own weaknesses and asking for help to overcome them. It is quite possible that your partner might get in an oppositional mode at this time. Their mood, communication style, etc., may not be at the same level as yours. Be patient. Don't lose the skills you have developed at the heat of the moment. Surprise your partner with a more calmer, more empathetic, more accommodating you. Let's say the conflict escalates and your partner starts to be angry. Walk away. I know it is hard not to huff puff and retort back, but be patient. Come back later to see how your partner is doing with a glass of water. That is one of the key advice from Hazrat Amma Jan to her daughter upon her marriage. This walking away and checking back in later holds all relationships together. I feel time and environment in which this communication is being carried out is also very important. Look for a time when your partner is in a good mood. They are not tired or stressed or grouchy. This may be hard at times. Use your compassion hat. Many of you may have heard about the 5 love languages. Find their love language. The more you understand your partner, the easier it will be to resolve issues. Using this love language, state your point of view. If you see that the discussion is moving to a positive outcome, good, keep on going. If you see a spark of argument, retreat. The conversation is not worth it. Come back to it again with more thought into it, with more patience. I feel that place of discussion also has a great impact on the outcome of conflict. Any conflict in general with an audience around has a bad outcome. Either it gets escalated or it dies down with ill feelings. Look at the live press conference between the Ukraine's president and US President Trump. Problem solving, negotiations, etc. should be behind closed doors among only the parties involved. I know when I have to discuss something with my husband, I call him when both of us are at work. This way, both of us have our frontal cortex working. Most of my family's big decisions have been made over the phone during work hours. With my mom, it's different. Usually, I take her on a long drive. She's seat belted, there's no other distraction, and her good ear is on my side. Find what works for you. The last, but not the least, is flexibility. Be flexible to accommodate your partner's needs. If your partner feels strongly about something, give in, sacrifice. It will nourish your relationship. What about my emotions, my feelings, my hurt, you ask? Often people think that they have to let their emotions out in front of their partners. They have to let their partner know how angry or upset they are. I feel when both parties start yelling, it portrays a battleground, and there are casualties, and sometimes even fatalities. Some emotions die down forever. Some wounds are so deep that they ooze even when they are stitched. My advice? Don't go there. Time and tested quote, don't yell unless the house is on fire. For me, it means only to yell when your relationship is burning and you're ready to exit. I have said this in a previous podcast, and I'm going to say it again. Show your wounds in front of Allah Ta'ala, for He is all powerful. Share your feelings with Him. He has the power to change the situation in your favor. This is my healing tool. Another thing I've said before, and I will repeat again, is to forgive your partner for their shortcomings. And forgiving means letting go, forever erasing, never to bring it up again. It does not mean rubbing it in later or holding it over your partner's head. This is something that people think is weak and often undermine it. In my opinion, letting your emotions out in front of Allah Ta'ala and forgiving your partner are the saviors of the relationship. Allah Ta'ala is Ghafurur Rahim. Perhaps we can acquire a small portion of His attributes to experience eternal peace. Peace for all. Allah Hafiz. This podcast is a humble effort in gratitude to Allah Ta'ala. It is based on Dr. Naureen Sohail's observations, personal experiences, thoughts and learnings while navigating her own life as a Canadian Muslim.